Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning, students. Welcome to my class in English language studies here for master students. So I'm going to introduce to you to English language teaching in our matriculations session, but then this will be also useful for your current issues in English language studies after this. Alright, so basically the topic will be about English as a native, second and foreign language. Yeah, so with me, Akhyar Ridho. Let us start with learning objectives. So students are able to understand the status of English language as native, second, and foreign language in global teaching context, so that they are able to manage relevant research, solve problems, and develop knowledge in the fields of English language teaching. Yeah, this in Indonesian level, KKNI level 8. Yeah. All right. So there are two things that you're going to do, okay, for this session. Number one, you will hear, you will listen to lectures on English as native, second, and foreign language. Then after that, I will give you reading tasks and materials for presentation and discussion later on. Okay, let us start with English as a native, second, and foreign language. If you look at the screen, are you familiar with this very famous expert or academia? His name is Braj-Kachru, who found Braj-Kachru's three concentric circle model. If not, so if you look at him or his figure or his picture, so this person on the screen is Professor Braj-Kachru. Okay, so in relation to English and as a native, second, and foreign language, Braj-Kachru is linguist. In 1965, published his first journal article entitled "The Indianese in Indian English." In the article, he lays the theoretical groundwork for the idea of world Englishes by interpreting how English is nativized in India, delineating some of its unique sociological and cultural aspects, and showing that Indian English is a unique variety of English which is neither an American or British English. That's very interesting, After that, in 1984, Kachru formally introduced the term of world Englishes. I think you've heard about this term, world Englishes, at the teachers of English to speaker of other other languages conferences, TESOL conference, along with the global profile of English. Later, he proposed the very famous three concentric circles model. Okay, now let us continue. Kachru also defines the quality of nativeness, in world Englishes in terms of both its functional domains and range, and its depth in social penetration and resultant acculturations. A community acquires native English speaking status as it uses English in greater number in societal context. This process, however, is shaped by the historical role of English in the community. It is this interaction between functionality and history that leads to the nativization. So this term, nativizations of English, in particular society or population group. Consequently, Kachru argues the English language belongs not only to its native speakers but also to its various non-native users throughout the world, because English has been widely used as the language for communication in the world for long period of time. Okay, now we look again at this term, and I think you've been familiar with this. Number one, if you look at the screen, English as a native language. Are you familiar with this terminology? English as a native language. The second, English as a second language. And the third is English as a foreign language. I'm sure you must be very familiar with this, but then it's better for me to explain to you again to make you more aware about these three terms. Now let us take a look at these one by one. First, when we talk about English as a native language, E and L, or English as a native for native speaker, these are native speakers born in English speaking country having then this language as their mother tongue or first language. That's why this is what we call as English as a native language. So the person is called as native if he or she was born in English-speaking country, having this language as their mother tongue or first language. Yeah. Number 2, English as a second language. Yeah, you must be very familiar with this term. These are the non-native speakers who have learned English almost at the same time as their mother tongue. Okay, that's the second language definition. Yeah, and the last one, we call it as EFL, or English as a foreign language. These are the non-native speakers who learn English in a country where English is not usually spoken. So like here in Indonesia, we learn English. It means that we are EFL speakers of English. Alright, next I have a question to you. Are you familiar with the following terminologies? Yeah, number 1, inner circle. Number 2, outer circle. And number 3, expanding circle. So if you're familiar with this, very good. I'm going to, re-explain to you, but if you're still like, what is this? So I think you need to pay attention to my next explanation. Alright, so this is the explanation, students. Number 1, when we talk about the inner circle, yeah, so the inner circle is made up the traditional basis of English, and its speakers are the ones in charge of providing the norms. Yeah, these places are where the norms are created and from which they spread to the other circles. So these are the examples of some of the countries that are categorized as inner circles, like USA, the USA, UK, and Canada. Okay, that's the inner circle. Number 2, the term is the outer circle. Yeah, the outer circle represents the places where they speak official non-native varieties of English because of their colonial history. The countries were under British or American colony in the past. Yeah, the speakers of these places are the ones who challenge the norms and develop them. They are mainly ESL, or some of the countries. Let's say, many countries, but I give you examples like India, Pakistan, Egypt, Brunei Darussalam, the Philippines, Malaysia, and many other countries. And that's the outer circle. Yeah, the last is, the term that was asked is the expanding circle. So the expanding circle is made up by EFL speakers where English is not usually spoken. So in this circle, the speakers have to follow the rules established by the inner circle, and developed or challenged by the other one. So some example of countries that belong to this circle are like, let's say, China, Russia, Brazil, including our country, Indonesia. Okay, so I hope that this is clear enough for you. I've explained to you about the inner circles, the outer circle, and the expanding circle. Now, this is the figure of English as a native, second and foreign language based on the perspective of Kachru 1985. So if you look at the circle, that's the center, that's what we call as the inner circle, which includes countries like UK, Ireland, USA, Canada, Australia, South Africa, with the estimated speakers at the time 380 million speakers. In outer circle, which includes countries like India, Singapore, Malaysia, Nigeria, like Egypt, it's estimated that the speakers consist of 300 million speakers. And then the last one, the expanding circle, the speakers are expected more than 1,000 million, 1 billion, and the countries include China, Russia, Brazil, European countries, and many Asian countries, including Indonesia. So if you look at this is at least the figure that you can put in your mind when we talk about inner, outer, expanding circle, which belongs to the native speakers, second English as second language, and English as foreign language. All right, so here is another thing, the explanations of the Kachru's circle models. English equals to native language. They have native accents. And many things you can see on the screen. And English as a second language is, or they are countries with let's say colonial legacy, yeah, it becomes official language in many public domains, yeah, for education, administration, legislation. So basically English is widely used in English as second language or in ESL context. Meanwhile, English as a foreign language normally not as a subject. So, but then this is useful if, let's say, as students they plan to continue their studies to overseas, to enter universities, or if they plan to work in multinational companies. Okay, so this will be useful. Yeah. So the thing is, which is very interesting, yeah, we can discuss later on, the number of speakers of English in outer and expanding circles are larger than in inner circles. That's the reality today, yeah. And the vast majority of teachers of English as a second and foreign language, like in Malaysia, in Singapore, in Indonesia, yeah, are non-native teachers working in outer circles and expanding circles of society. So I think this will be a very great discussion and can be, research topics here, like how non-native teachers teach English in outer circles or expanding circle societies. That will be a very great discussion. Okay, so the question is, how does Culture's three concentric circles model influence English language teaching? Now, that's why you need to understand this to be able to understand and to implement this in your English language teaching, yeah, in your respective institutions. So these are the influence of Culture's model on English language teaching. For example, in terms of curriculum design, yeah, in the inner circle countries, let's say, yeah, the focus is often on native proficiency and advanced linguistic skills. Yeah, you need to understand that when you teach English in the inner circle countries, you need to focus more on native proficiency and advanced linguistic skills. Meanwhile, if you teach English in ESL context countries, yeah, the curricula might incorporate local languages and cultural context to reflect the bilingual or multilingual realities of students. Meanwhile, in the expanding circle, the emphasis is, yeah, frequently on practical communication skills and global English usage. Yeah, sometimes with less focus on native-like proficiency. So, you teach in the EFL context like Indonesia, the students are not trained or taught to be native-like, yeah, or to be native speakers proficiency, yeah, or in the same level of native-like proficiency. All right, and let's say that was the influence of Culture's model in curriculum design. What about in teaching materials? So let's say in textbooks, yeah, or teaching sources, these are very influential. So because textbooks and resources are often tailored to the needs of learners in different circles. So for instance, materials for other circles countries might include local cultural references and idiomatic expressions, whereas, yeah, materials for expanding circles countries like Indonesia might prioritize international English and communicative competence. So then they are able to use English for daily communication and to communicate with global citizens. All right. What about for teacher training? So the influence of Culture's models on the English language teaching in terms of teacher trainings. Yeah, teachers in the other circle may receive training that emphasizes the integrations of English with the local languages and cultural context. Meanwhile, in the expanding circle, teacher training might focus on teaching English as a global lingua franca, preparing students for international communication rather than native-like mastery. Yeah. Meanwhile, when we talk about language varieties and standards, the model highlights the legitimacy of various English varieties and standards. Like, for example, in the other circle, English might include local dialects and usage of patterns, which can influence teaching methods and assessment. Yeah. Meanwhile, in the expanding circle, there might be more emphasis on understanding and using standards international English to facilitate global communication. Alright, and the last one is for policy and planning. Yeah, language policy and educational planning can be informed by the model as well. For example, nations in the expanding circle may develop policies that emphasize English for economic and diplomatic purposes, for example, while countries in the outer circle may focus on maintaining or enhancing English proficiency while navigating multilingualism. So it will enrich the multiculturalism context in each respective countries. Okay, do you have questions? So students, if you have question, you can post in this video, or you can also ask the question in our WhatsApp group. So later we can have further communication, or we can discuss in the next meeting. Alright, but then don't forget, you have to do this. I want to give you reading tasks that will be discussed, and you have to present it as well. Okay, this is the thing. Pay attention, students. This is an individual task and presentation. Please find, number one, instruction number one. Please find 3 research articles that are related to English as a native second and foreign language and in relation to English language teaching, or ELT. 2. Read the articles at home. And 3. Present in front of the class next meeting. So remember, this is the structure of the presentation later on. You will start with opening, introduce yourself, and present the title of the presentation. After that, second part of the structure is the body. Basically, you summarize your reading and you present to your friends in the class, and the last is closing or the conclusions of the presentation. Okay, students, that's all the things. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you also for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye. See ya. Thank you.